Go for it.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. See if you notice anything different. We won't comment on what we've done differently. This is for people watching, not listening. We won't comment on what we've done differently, but there's something a bit different. See if you can see what it is for you real fans out there. See if you can see what it is. So this is episode number 43. And to be fair, mate, I feel like in recent weeks the podcast's been thriving. Like,
what do you reckon? Picking up momentum.
Honestly, in the past few weeks, like the views have gone up. I've not checked the Spotify, but the views have gone up a decent amount in the past few weeks. And we seem to be getting some people who I'm thinking, fucking hell, it's pretty cool that they're listening. Some more prestigious kind of people that I'd be like, that's mint. So
then like Charlie Everall and AJ Bauer and Wilbur.
Charlie Everall, AJ Bauer and Wilbur Sleeney. They're just prestigious listeners. Don't get me wrong.
We're discarding them and we're like, AJR, PCA Pro, into our podcast. Get in.
No, but like there's people, so like people like him for one, but then who was it the other day that I was thinking, someone, I don't think they even tagged us in it. I can't remember what it was. But there was someone else. It might have been a week or so ago. But I was like, that's pretty cool that they actually like the podcast. Even when we at your show, Taylor, when he was like, oh yeah, listen to the podcast. We were like, that's mint. Like, because obviously I only knew him basically through like social media and thinking, oh, he looks good. And I knew that Cuba coached him. So I don't know. It is cool. I feel like it's bringing us a wider audience, but also like we're getting some people who I think like that's pretty cool now. Basically, we're getting famous.
Yeah, we're on the blow up. That's what we're on. We've peaked. We now need to continue this momentum with no maintenance phases in the sense of what we're doing with the podcast now. It's only growth phases. That's what it is. It's a massing phase. Massing for more people to.
It's a gaining phase, but for anyone who doesn't like that term, because like, I don't want to gain weight. It's an improvement phase. Don't worry.
Improvement phase. I don't want to have a negative connotation with my current phase. So improvement season. That's what we're going to go with.
Imagine, but I don't like. I've got a negative connotation with the word improvement. What you don't want to? You just don't want to improve. No. Can I have a what's the opposite of improvement?
Regression. Yeah.
No, because that's the opposite of regression is progression.
Yeah, improvement. There's not.
Improvement. Should I Google it?
Yeah, let's have a Google.
Getting worse. Like that's not. That's surely not the word.
I just wake up, get out of bed, and go, I just hope I'm worse than yesterday. That's literally what I live my life.
What is the opposite of improvement?
It will just be getting worse, won't it?
Yeah, but surely there's a word.
Yeah, there's
deterioration.
Really?
Yeah, that's quite a good one. Right, so we're going to be entering a deterioration phase for the next 6 months.
Hey, mate, I'm really enjoying this deterioration phase. I think it's going so well.
I'm literally just not doing anything. I'm just bottling every set. I'm not eating any food, and it's working. Yes,
I haven't drank a milliliter of water since 3 days ago. I think I've got a bit of a headache, but it's okay, mate. I feel all right.
It's in line with the goals of the phase.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine, right, mate, we're going to be no water, no food, no training, ideally no sleep. Like, it would be just, if anything, just do everything other than recovery and training. That's what we're doing.
Some people be sound.
That's basically, we're doing that with the podcast. No sleep, no recovery. We're just going to be spamming the podcast. I feel like it's also been, because we've been very regimented on our 1 time per week. We said this on the last few podcasts, haven't we? I don't think we've missed one this year.
No, it's about consistency, isn't it? Like we're saying with our YouTube, like obviously we're like doing a video a week, uploading at the same time pretty much each week. I know you had one where it wasn't ready, but like basically doing that, like we don't get crazy amounts of views. But
I do. I got almost 2,000 on my newest one, mate.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Blowing up.
But like it's more so. It is literally about that consistency. It's very cliche, isn't it? But that is literally what it's about, and it's the same with Instagram. Like. The reason that we have built up a half decent following over years is literally because we post all the time. And obviously you don't even have to think about it. Like now with the podcast, we don't really think about it, do we? We just think, okay, we know that it's going to be on a Thursday.
We know.
We know. Literature states that we do the podcast on a Thursday. So we don't really have to overthink it. It's not like a burden. because we just make sure that we have time for it now. Like it's part of the routine. It's the same with anything. Same with like doing cardio or steps. You just fit it into the routine.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I think we're in a good spot. How's your week been, mate? Anything to report?
It's been good, mate. Thank you. I am feeling a little bit more fatigued though. I'm thinking potentially next week I'll take a D volume because I've got. So we go away on the 16th of May. So from next week, that leaves 4 more weeks. So I'm thinking I'll probably devolume next week because like my sleep in the past day or two hasn't been great. My knees are feeling a little bit sore, which they haven't felt for weeks. So yeah, I'm thinking I'll probably devolume next week. I don't know if you want to do the same because I know you're going away similar time.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just going to push on because I'm going to get myself sliced open, aren't I?
Yeah, tell us about that in a minute.
Yeah,
getting live.
I was going to do like an IGTV. I was going to put a camera down and talk because I feel like I need to address it. Because not many people are going to be talking on a camera. And if I don't post my training clips for a month, people are going to be like, "Has Reece died? What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Gonna have to get.
You can do that. You can always talk about it now and then do it then.
Yeah, might as well. Yeah.
But yeah, that means I can then push on for 3 weeks and then it'll be like I'll have 5 days off because I'm away from the 16th to the 20th. Yeah. So that'll work out pretty much bang. I could push on, but it's not going to be productive.
No.
So I won't.
I almost have to push on, unfortunately. As alluded to earlier, I'm going to get myself sliced open, guys. Hopefully I don't die. The only thing that's dying is my bank account, paying $4,000. Jesus Christ. So basically, anyone who's listening, me and Finn spoke about this. We spoke about it the other day in the car, and like we were both in agreement. It's a bit annoying, but it's got to be done. Pretty much, I'm not trying to put people out in the cold. Going to be getting my nipples sliced in half because pretty much I had gyno from when I was a kid. So it was puberty. Unfortunately, I think it has a bit of a negative connotation when you see someone you're like, oh, he just abuses gear. It's definitely going to have some role when you're playing around with hormones. It's going to be putting you in a position where it could make it worse. Fortunately, last year, like I had it from when I was like 12 or 13, and I knew that it was going to have to be operated on if I'm competing at a top level because it would eventually potentially hold me back. So booked in for the 5th on Thursday, 5th of May, 3 p.m. It's an hour procedure. And it'll be something that, like I said to you, like if I wasn't competing, I really wouldn't care because it's not that noticeable. Last year, nobody mentioned it to me, but I definitely, as my body fat levels get higher, I always look and think it is a little bit more noticeable when I'm fatter because there's obviously going to be fat around my chest area, which is obviously going to make you almost look like, in a lesser phrase, look like you've got tits. So it's like, I was looking at myself and I'm like, yeah, this probably needs to get sorted out eventually. And I would hate it if I'm going for a pro card and at the end of the day, if I was to be the best person there, but they were to look at me and go, oh, is that a bit of gyno? Right, let's mark him down. And
that's number 27. Yeah. You've got moobs. Can you get?
Yeah, you've got man boobs. You need to just operate on it right now, or we're not giving you the pro card. And to be fair, like it's one of those where, like, if I said to you, if it was really, really bad, I would be like, okay, cool, I'll just get it sorted. But the fact it wasn't and it isn't, it's a bit like, oh, do I really?
It's not. It definitely wasn't bad when you competed.
No, definitely not. And I don't think it's bad now, if I'm honest. It's not any worse.
It's more noticeable, isn't it? But it's still not like, oh my god, like,
yeah, no, definitely.
To the untrained eye, if you like, if you're not looking for it, you wouldn't notice.
Mate, I remember telling you like 2-3 years ago, and you were like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah. I was like, but I was always lean in my teens. So like there's some photos where like the lighting or the angle sort of like didn't help me out. And I remember thinking, like, I remember when I was like 14, 15, I was like, oh, this isn't good. I don't know what this is. And but in the grand scheme of things, you learn to live with something.
It's normal though, isn't it? Like I say, exactly. when I first like started puberty, like my like nipples were really sore and I was like, what the fuck is going on? But then, like, speaking to my mates about it at the time, like, they were like, yeah, same. Like, I think it's very normal, like, go through puberty. And then, obviously, sometimes it remains and continues to be a problem. And obviously, if you're blasting loads and loads of gear, then obviously it ends up getting really bad.
Massive gear head. No. But in all seriousness, like I said, pretty much it can occur through like 2 methods of action. It's just aromatization. So when you go through puberty, testosterone levels go up. If body fat levels are high, it potentiates a greater level of estrogen conversion, which in turn can result in a hormone imbalance, which is what pretty much happened with me. And then it can also be a case where, as I said earlier, when you're playing around with hormone use, you are going to be putting yourself at a heightened risk of it becoming worse. And I think right now, if it was to stay the same, I don't genuinely think it would actually affect me. But when you are putting yourself in a position, why would you not be thinking, right, I've got a year off. I wouldn't want to compete next year, be told, right, you know what, mate, this is probably something you need to sort out. And then I'm like, oh, I'm behind. And I'm in the best spot of training. And I thought about it coming out of prep last year when I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll get it done straight away. But I thought, no, I'll get myself back to a spot where I'm at my best. I can then allow myself a slight step back. It makes sense from a hormonal perspective as well, because I'll be going back to a physiological range. So therefore, it'll be where I pretty much made the most out of this first push. I can then have it as a bit of a maintenance phase, should we say, for lack of a better word. And in the grand scheme of things, if it's like I think it's like three, the guy that I spoke to when I had my consultation, it was like 2 to 3 weeks until I'll be back to able to do some lower and likewise some cardio, and then 4 weeks until I'm doing upper. So by 6 weeks afterwards, I'll be back to where I was and where I am pretty much in the next couple of weeks, which again, it's not going to be a bad thing. So I've got a holiday booked. Me and Sinai booked it for the 18th, I think. We're going to Egypt. So we're going on the 18th of May, which is your birthday, isn't it, mate? No, your birthday 17th.
You should know.
17th. Yeah, 17th. I entered your passcode on your phone the other day when I destroyed your Cybex hack spot. So, yeah, I should know. So, oh, mate, I shouldn't say that. You just change your password now. Anybody gets your phone, they know it. Oh, God. It starts with a 7. What starts with a 1 and it's a 7 as the second number or second letter. Number, Christ. So basically that's booked in for the 5th. So I've got about 3 more weeks. 3 weeks today, I think it is actually, if I'm not mistaken. So there's no devolume. I'll just be training. I feel pretty smashed, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, like I can rest when I'm recovering. So that'll be that. And it'll be a bit weird. Like it'll be the longest amount of time I've had away from the gym. But I think going on holiday 10 days after will be nice because it gives me a good couple of days to recover. Then I can probably crack on with my work, give myself a few days and almost have like a week deload. And then I'll be like, okay, cool, I'm going on holiday in 2 days. And then by the time I'm back, I'm pretty much I'll be back in the gym doing lower and going from there and most likely making my legs even better than where they should be for men's physique. So yeah, it's what it is. My week other than that, though, has been relatively okay. I got 5 plates from the side. I beat Finn on the hack. Me and Finn confirmed to me that I'm now stronger than him on everything. It's only took me this amount of time. So well done, Finn. You did well for the natties.
Yeah, but I don't know. Your set was a bit rushed.
I don't know.
It was quite a bouncy set. Like my eccentrics are very, very slow compared. So I'm gonna cling on to that.
I don't think so, mate. I think my set was
100%.
I'd say mine was equally as good as yours. And I'm
not saying it was a bad set, but they were quite bouncy reps because you went into it very, very aroused. So your eccentrics were fast.
I don't think they were that fast. I think they were still relatively controlled.
Yeah, they were controlled.
Yeah. So what are we picking it? So 3 reps, the difference. First time ever on 5 plates. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to call him mulligan. I would have had 3 reps more.
Mate, I'd be getting 20 if I was just bouncing out the bottom.
How many did you do continuous? 3?
Oh.
No, you did no continuous.
I'm not trying to do them continuous now.
So I got...
They pretty much are. I'm not like taking the piss with a pause at the top.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to drop into the next rep rapidly like you.
Like, I don't know, mate. I'm just keeping them continuous.
Mate, no wonder you keep fucking your knees up on it. Give it another week or 2 and you'll do it again and you'll be like, I don't know why. It's like, why do?
Mate, my set was fine. That was the one time I haven't done the pause at the bottom. That's probably as well why I was a few more reps up. I don't know why you're doing this, mate.
They haven't been paused, have they? Come on.
Mate, genuinely. I had a pause at the bottom, like just a slight pause at the bottom for the last, like, that's why I managed to go 5 kilos up. It was the best my knees felt. So I was like, right, I'm just going to go for it and see. So I took the handbrake off, bro. That's what I did. So I took the handbrake off.
Whereabouts in Egypt are you going?
I legitimately have no idea, mate. Sinai's booked it. I've just said, yeah, look sound. That's it. So
you have to show me because me and Shannon went, didn't we? It was mint where we went.
Yeah, no.
I can't remember what it was called. It was called Hagada, the place, not the hotel.
Yeah. Oh,
where it is.
Yeah, the place. That's where it is. Imagine if we went to the same place.
Mate, if you did, it's mint. Honestly, it's proper good. It might be because it's like it was when we looked. It was like it wasn't cheap, but it wasn't like fucking hell. That's stupidly expensive.
It was like classes like stupidly expensive for a holiday because like this is the first holiday that I've like booked myself because obviously COVID and stuff.
It's hard to.
I genuinely don't know what holiday is expensive. That's the thing. Holiday chat. Once you're in podcast.
I don't know. Like, it depends completely on your income, and it depends on where you're at. I don't know. If 5 years ago, stupidly expensive would be very different to what I see it as now.
Because you're a fucking ball.
Because I'm balling now, yeah. So I can't remember how much it was, but I think it was maybe about 1,500 quid each.
Yeah.
For a 2-week all-inclusive. And obviously because that was like our main like longest holiday that we've been on. Usually we've been on like weekends away where it's like maybe 150 quid for the Airbnb and 100 quid for flights. It's not, $3,000 or more together.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like, it was dead nice where we went. I can't remember where it was. You have to show me where you're going.
Was the food all right?
Yeah,
because this is the problem with all inclusives. It's either wank or it's all right.
Nah, it was proper good.
Yeah, no, that's not too bad. So yeah, so that's that. Do you want to get into the questions, mate? I've just realised I've kept my cardio on for the last. Jesus Christ, I burned 800 calories. I kept my cardio on from when I did it an hour ago. So my Apple Watch thinks I'm going to be shredded tomorrow. I'm not.
So you just if you leave it on cardio, it thinks you're still burning the same amount of calories even though you sat down.
No. Your heart rate comes back down, but to be fair, because I'm fat, my heart rate's pretty high already. So like, it thinks I'm still burning calories because it's like 80 beats per minute. That'll be sound because it's it's at 73. So yeah.
But realistically, it's just telling you how many calories you've burned.
Yeah, but because I'm doing cardio, and it would have been heightened for the period of time afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's still true.
No, definitely. No, but it will spike it and it will say to me on my Apple Watch, like, you've burnt this amount of calories today. And therefore, if I'm not shredded, even though it's lied to me, I'm going to be disappointed. And also, the one annoyance, and anyone who's prepped and has an Apple Watch will know, if you leave your cardio on and you go for a walk, it doesn't track your steps. And I used to do cardio and then go for a walk afterwards. And there was a few times where like I wouldn't turn it off. I'd forget to end, click end.
Yeah.
And I'd get like halfway through my walk and it would be like, you've done 12 steps today. And unfortunately, I knew exactly where I walked to the same spot. But imagine if your steps were like quite sporadic. You'd be pissed off because you'd be like, how many steps have I done? You wouldn't want to underdo your steps.
Yeah.
I remember it didn't really make much of a difference. It was literally where I'd walk to the same tree. I'd walk back. I then go to the gym. I take my Apple Watch off when I go to the gym. So my steps were probably higher actually last year now I think about it. I knew that, but I didn't really break it down. So I used to take them off when I was in the gym. Because I don't know how anybody can train.
You weren't very accurate, were you?
Mate, I just...
No wonder we couldn't get you back in.
Yeah, no chance it would have been. I don't know how anybody can train with an Apple Watch. I find that crazy. Do you reckon you could train with an Apple Watch on? I get annoyed.
Probably. Well, I could do it on movements that I wasn't using straps or wraps on, and yeah.
Yeah, even then I find
like the Oura Ring. Like I wear the Oura Ring for pretty much everything apart from, like dumbbell movements. Like any dumbbell movement, it just feels awkward. Like even on the dumbbell lateral, like I don't like how it feels. It like grinds against it. But everything else, like any pressing, even Smith machine pressing and stuff, this is sound.
Yeah,
I don't like dumbbells with it.
I'm like a creature of habit. If anything's on my wrist, I'm like, I like something on my wrist, but nothing fixed that's hard. Like I want something flaccid and soft on my wrist, ideally, when I'm training.
Wraps round, just flops over.
Yeah, that flops over, and I'm like, there we
do that for you, mate.
Exactly, yeah. I don't know about flopping over though, mate. I feel like you're
sitting on the edge, maybe.
Sitting on the
struggling
edge,
to even get across half of the forefront.
Exactly. Yes. Right. I want to get into the questions, mate.
Yeah, go on then. You can go first.
Which is your favourite Ultraflex at the Min from Andrew? Because I've been to Normanton. I think Rotherham's got the best kit. Normanton's a good blend of them all. Admittedly, I've only been to Leeds, Normanton and Rotherham. Leeds is probably got the best atmosphere, but it's got the worst kit. Normanton, as mentioned, is a good blend. I'd say Rotherham just based on the fact that the kit is fantastic.
Rotherham's the best by a mile, isn't it, really?
Yeah. You think better than Durham now, but like, what's Durham got in relation to new bits?
I haven't been, obviously, we haven't been, have we? But Durham's equipment does look really, really good, but I still think Rotherham's is better.
Yeah, I think Rotherham's
and I've heard, the atmosphere is a lot better in Rotherham.
Really? God, that says Durham's not the best then. Because I think Rotherham's amazing. Yeah,
but I think what it is with Rotherham is that there's a lot of, if you like, so-called influencers there that people want, maybe not want to be training around, but feel like, it's cool because they train here, they train here, they train here. There's a few in Durham, obviously Keefe trains there now, obviously Ant Bale's trained there and that, but I think it's more so people people call it the atmosphere more so just because of the people that train there, which does have a better atmosphere.
I don't think the atmosphere is like, I always think atmosphere is actually atmosphere. I couldn't care who's training. Like, it's more so.
Yeah, I think
the steps, that's how people are.
Yeah, I think because it's such a big gym as well. Like, if anything, that takes away a little bit from the atmosphere compared to a smaller gym. Like, Normanton was decent. I wouldn't say the atmosphere was any better, to be fair. But
I'd say it's a little bit better.
Enclosed, wasn't it?
Yeah, because the music was better.
Oh, yeah, the music was good.
A lot better, yeah. Ultraflex rather than music is like wank half the time.
It's Max's fault.
Yeah, it is.
He said to us, didn't he, that he would turn it down for us, but it was loud last week, this week.
Yeah.
Right. Have we answered that then?
Yeah. Carry on, mate. I've got a fair few. I've got about 12 to 15, I'd say. So yeah, sorry, mate.
This is from SJ Burumand. Which is better for tracking health markers? And he's put sleep, steps, etc. An Aura Ring or fitness watch. He's put Fitbit, iWatch, just in case we didn't know. Yeah,
exactly. Thanks for the clarification, mate. Yes, mate. Well, I've only got experience with an Apple Watch and a Fitbit. I think a Fitbit for a basic, cheap step tracker is sound. I think Apple Watch is relatively all right. It's a bit of a gimmick. I think the Aura Ring's probably the best, but they do a fairly similar job, don't they? There's not like, you're not going to get, oh my God, just because I've got my readiness score in the morning, I'm such a better athlete for my Aura Ring.
Yeah, I think like the Aura Ring is obviously a little bit more accurate. It gives you a little bit more data. It's not like mind blowing. Like, I think some people are like, oh my God, it's amazing what you get. It's like, it's not. Like, and also it shouldn't really change what you do that much unless you're like completely trying to be a shit bodybuilder. Then you get the Aura Ring and it tells you that you're that you're doing, basically your sleep's horrendous.
Plenty of people are in, what phases? What did we say at the start?
Deterioration
phases. Yeah, plenty of people are in non-intentional deterioration phases.
The thing is, like, I've had quite a few clients buy an Aura Ring, which is great because it gives us a bit more data, which I do like to have. I never say you need to get one at all because they're expensive. But when they do get them, especially the clients who are already on it, what do you expect? Yeah, their data's spot on. Their readiness is 80 plus most days. Their sleep is 7.5 hours or more every night. But yeah, I mean, it gets them to at least learn a little bit more because it explains like all the different sort of periods of your sleep and things like that. Often it can catch illness a little bit early. Like, for example, like I said, when I had COVID, I felt a bit ill the night before, like my eyes hurt a bit, but I didn't feel horrendous. I woke up the next day.
Came around and gave it to me. Thanks, mate.
I woke up the next day and I was all right. Like, I was okay, but my Aura Ring was like readiness 38 or something. I was like, I feel all right though. But then like a few hours later, I was fucked. So that's quite cool. But yeah, I mean, I would just say get what you can afford. Like, if you just want to track your sleep and your steps, but you don't want to spend much money and you've got a phone, just use your phone. Like, you can track them both on your phone. If you have a bit more disposable income and you want it to be a bit more accurate, then get like a cheap pedometer that might, to be fair, like your phone's pretty accurate as a pedometer anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't be thinking like, oh, you need an Aura Ring. Like, you definitely don't.
Yeah, no, I agree. Liam Burke, 99. He asked a question last week. He dropped me a message saying like, thanks for answering the question, and he agreed with me about the libido. Like, he said nothing's worked there. I think he's not as bad as me. I was 12 weeks. I think he was 8 weeks. But he's asked. I think he's currently 2 weeks out. So he's 2 weeks out from a men's physique show. How long did it take to get back to normal, mood and energy wise, after comp for you both? And we've both agreed there's not really a normal. Like, you don't realise in the moment, like Liam, even though right now you're asking this question, that says to me that I think you most likely are quite aware that you are pretty smashed. You're probably not going to realise just how bad you are until afterwards. And when you are like, oh, I'm back to normal. But you never wake up, and like, you don't just wake up one day and magically 2 weeks after or a week after or 10 weeks after and go, oh my God, I'm healed. It takes a lot of time, and you'll have a lot of things that kind of take different amounts of time. When you agree, Finlay?
Yeah, I think obviously it's like exactly what you said. Like, throughout prep, you are gradually getting into a more compromised position, but you don't notice it day to day, and it's very difficult to properly assess it. And like, even towards the end, like I said to you, like, I felt absolutely sound, really, but that was at the time. now comparing it to then, I didn't feel sound. I was very, very, I wasn't myself. Yeah, I was very quiet. I didn't want to talk to anyone. Like, I didn't probably have an erection for 10 weeks or something like that. Like,
only 10?
Like, honestly, like, you know what I mean? I wasn't lean, that's why. I was still soft. But, like, it's thinking that now, that's like, what the fuck? That's mental. Like, but at the time, it's like, well, yeah, I'm dieting. It's normal. Like, so you kind of just feel sound. Like, it's the same with, Matt. He's obviously like 8 weeks out now.
Yeah.
And he's saying to me, he's like, mate, I don't even feel like I'm prepping. I'm like, you will do. Like, you just don't realize it. Like, and that's not a bad sign, because that is literally because his mentality is spot on. Like, he won't let anything get in the way of him getting in shape. You know what I mean? And that's what we were like. So even though you feel absolutely trashed, you don't let yourself feel like it, or you almost convince yourself that you're all right. But yeah, it's impossible to say exactly how long it'll take. It depends how lean you get. It depends how well you manage post-show. If you try and stay lean for months after, then it'll take you longer. If you just binge and then have to diet again soon, it'll take you longer. If you actually manage it well and gradually reverse out, if you actually get ready a bit early and can reverse out into the shows, that'll put you in a better position. But it's impossible to give you an exact time frame. I don't know. I've had times post-show where I've thought, like, maybe 2 months, I thought, oh, I'll probably feel back to normal now. But then another 2 months later, I thought, I'll probably feel back to normal now. Another 2 months later, I thought, I probably feel like you almost just keep thinking, maybe I'm back to normal.
Yeah, you don't. I never really thought
that. Class and normal, can you? Like, because before I competed, same with you, really, apart from like when you were younger, but like I stayed lean all the time. Like, I stayed around like 180 pounds. Like, I competed at 172. Like lightest I was 166, but I competed at 172. So I was consistently, if you like, about 8 to 10 pounds up from stage weight, which now is mental. Like, to think like that. Like, but that for me was normal. So it depends on what is your normal. Where do you sit in your off season? Like, there's so many things that come into it. It's very difficult to say how long it'll take for everyone. It's very dependent on that person.
Yeah, and like there's like, as we said, when it comes to like how you feel, it's very dependent on where you are. And like, you'll notice, like when Vin mentioned about erections, you might have that just based on the fact that stress drops off after a show. You don't have to be thinking about your cardio. You might
we both had the exact same thing. Like, the night after the show, it was like, oh, right, it actually works.
And that's literally just stress dropping off, knowing that you're done, knowing that you don't have to wake up and get an X amount of steps, and that will instantly help you from a recovery standpoint. But then you might only have, it might be back for a few days, then it might go away. Then it might be a sense where, let's say, as Finn mentioned, you might have binged, you might have done this. Like, I still had like some level of anxiety. I've said this before on the podcast when it came to training, where like 2 or 3 months afterwards, I'd be going in and I'd be like really like not myself until I did a good set. And then I'd be like, because I'd be worried thinking, I hope I train well, I hope I train well, I hope I can progress, because there's so many sessions towards the end where like I hated being in the gym to a certain extent. And I don't say that lightly, like I really didn't enjoy training to how I would usually. And if a set didn't go my way, I'd be like, fuck's sake, right? Next one, go again. And it would just wear me down. I was like, this is what I should love, and I wasn't liking it. So there were like 3 months afterwards, I remember, like even in December, there were some sets where like after I did a good set, I'd be like, okay, cool, I'm normal. But I'd be like going in and I'd be like, my body would be worried, thinking like, but you better be able to progress, you better be able to train well. And in reality, there's no reason why I shouldn't be. Everything was nailed, but because I had that anxiety that was built up, that took ages. That was probably the last thing. And then now, like probably after Christmas was when I felt, yeah, like mentally there was probably December time, I was like, I didn't really have any food cravings. I was back to normal, being quite switched off from everything. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm how I am. And I've been like that for the last like 4 to 5 months. But again, I was more experienced. I was going in, as you said, when it comes to reversing into the shows, like a week before the first show, I was like, I'm absolutely ruined. I do not like, I just want this to end. I want to get to the show and get myself tanned, and that's it. And then like throughout, like if there was another show the week afterwards, I said to you like, oh mate, I could easily do another show. Like when you're reversing out, your stress levels are low. I was like, I could easily have done a few more shows and been sound, but it wouldn't have made sense. But yeah, it's going to take. That's
why it's good to try and be ready a little bit early, or that's why you want to try and time it for the show that you're most focused on, if you like. So like if you've got 4 shows that span across 6 weeks, the most important one's the second to last one. Like you almost want to be making sure you're ready, if you like, or in your best position for that one. So you might be digging into the first show, like for you, like you felt pretty shit going into the first show, but then reversing out, you felt so much better into the other shows that we were focusing more on, basically.
Yeah.
Even though you got beat.
Yeah, I did. I peaked early. I should have just got into it digging. Would have won everything.
So Miles has asked us, have you missed each other this week?
So much. Well, we trained Monday, didn't we? Trained Monday. Josh was with us.
Yeah.
Tuesday.
Tried to replace me then, didn't you?
Yeah, replace Finn. Tuesday, Finn replaced me. And then Wednesday, we don't actually really train together on Wednesdays, so no. And then we had a chat before the podcast. We don't really chat. We just chat in the gym, and we'll chat before a session, and then we train. And then obviously we will train tomorrow, and then we get to do our deadlifts on Saturday, and then that's how it is. Like Monday we train, Tuesday we train, Wednesday we don't, Thursday we don't because it's a rest day, but we chat on the podcast. So yeah, I haven't missed you, mate. You're a bellend. It's been really nice not actually having to talk to you. To be fair,
honestly, mate, exactly.
You share the same thoughts.
Yeah, I played Shannon our voice notes to each other yesterday. It was like, what the
fuck? You know the one where you sent to me when you were like, gonna be a bit late, mate, bad traffic? You know that one? That was a few weeks ago. Do you remember? We were on the other, like, mate, gonna be a bit late, bad traffic. And it was when I Loughborough. Mate, that's my favourite voice note. I literally, I've listened to that about 10 times, if I'm honest. It's like, I wish I could, get it just, saved onto my phone so I could just listen to it. And, mate, if that was, bad traffic, that woke me up every morning. I'd be a happy bloke.
I'll see if I can, see if you can hear it.
Let's see. Well, the podcast got that one, where I said let me in, but it was like, let me in.
Yeah.
Is this me or you?
You.
Hey mate, hope you're well. I'm training Ultra Normanton today with Ant and Alex. Thought I'd let you know just in case you fancy it. I know you won't though, as I said last week, but I thought I'd let you know. Hopefully you had a good session yesterday. Miss you lot. See you tomorrow, if not on the podcast. Bye.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, you could hear that.
Right, this is my reply. My reply is a bit. You speak too fast. My reply is really slow.
Hi mate, thanks for the offer, but probably gonna give it a miss. Just a little bit late notice, and quite a long drive, isn't it, to Normanton? So yeah, I'm gonna give it a miss, but I hope you have a really good session. It was nice to see you yesterday, and good job on the hack squat, mate. I was really proud of you on the hack squat.
Fantastic.
Thanks for your humour.
Thanks, Vince. See you tomorrow.
I know it was.
I'm surprised you managed to make that out, if I'm honest. Because
Shannon was like, "What?" on your last one. I was like, "Thanks, Vince. See you tomorrow." She's like, "How does that say that?" I was like, "Listen."
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. I was gonna have to literally have to put a subtitle. Because I listened to it, and I was like, "No chance he's getting that." So I'm impressed, mate.
Yeah, I could tell that.
So yeah, that's our conversations. Did we actually answer the question in the end?
Yeah, we said we missed each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. DGJ, Dan the Gash Jones.
Dan the Gash, yeah.
Dan Gash Jones. Do you think you can make as much progress training solo? It's a good question, actually. It goes into this. As a regular training partner. Obviously can't do force reps, etc. So how important do you think these are for progression? Ask because I almost always train solo. Imagine if we were like, Dan, mate, you'd be so much better if you got a training partner. You'd be so much better, mate. You're competing this year without a training partner. Don't bother. You know.
I think it depends, doesn't it? It depends on you as a person, and it depends on the training partner that you have as well. So, recently, I've had a couple of clients. I won't name them just in case the people that they trained with also listening. But I've had a couple of clients who have trained with people who don't usually. They usually train on their own, and they've said, mate, honestly, I have to train on my own. I can't train with someone. And I've said to them, you probably could, but you have to find the right person. Someone who understands, the level that you want to train at. Someone who understands your kind of protocols before sets and things like that. Someone who can spot you effectively if you're going to have someone spot you. I don't think if you're looking at it just from like a force rep perspective, I don't think you're going to make loads more progress by having someone that can give you force reps. Like if you're worrying about that, then generally just take a couple of partials or get someone who's in the gym to give you a force rep. Yeah. Like get someone to spot you. I think it's more so from not like almost just like we said before, like sort of setting the standard and pushing yourself out a little bit more. Like if you have someone who can push you more, let's say, then that can help. But again, you know, if you're the type of person who, like we've said before, we're not going to train any differently whether we train on our own or with each other. Yeah. It's just nice to have another person there. It's nice to have someone who you feel like, right, cool.
In the trenches together.
In the trenches together, yeah. But you know what I mean? Like we've obviously we train on our own at times. I know you obviously train like with Sanaya now, but like on that Wednesday, I train on my own, and it's not like, oh, this session's shit. Like it's always a good session.
Sanaya doesn't do my session. Sanaya never trains with me on Wednesday.
All right.
It's like she does a push that sometimes we'll do, but it's a completely different session. Like I always do that session on my own as well. And like I never finish that session and go, oh, I wish Finn was here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Or some people do feel like they need that, but then I'd almost think that if you feel like you need that, it's probably something
we've said before. Another benefit
needs that.
Yeah, another benefit is having like the accountability through someone else being there at the same time. So like what we've done before is like if we were training on our own, you might sit in the car and like, let's say for us, get back to all your WhatsApps that take you 20-30 minutes. That puts your head out of the game.
Yeah,
you need your head in the game, bro. You need your nut in the game. What was that podcast? Is that George's Nut in the Game?
Yeah. Don't act like you don't know. You're number one listener.
Number one listener. Has he done any recently? I don't think he has.
No. You need to be you need to be in athlete mode, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're getting back to WhatsApp, you're instantly into coach mode, and then you get into the gym, and you'll start just going up to people. And you'll start going up to people like, "Hey, mate, I know I don't coach, but you really need to be doing this."
I'm in coach mode. Sorry, I'm in coach mode. Can't switch it off.
Yeah, I can't switch it off now. You need to. The second you have your pre-workout meal, you need to be in athlete mode till you get to the gym, and then afterwards you can switch off, and you can switch into lover mode when you get home, and you're like, "Hey, Shannon, how's life?"
I'm family mode. Still in coach mode. I'm in coach mode all the way there. I'm in coach mode all the way home. I'm in coach mode when I get home, and then I'm in like chilled mode for 10 minutes.
And then you sleep.
And then go to bed, yeah.
Exactly.
Then I'm in lover mode when I go to bed.
Ooh, mate. Tell you're recovered after prep. Tell you've had some
I'm fully recovered after prep, I tell you.
I'm fully recovered. Wow, fantastic. So yeah, hopefully we answered your question there, Dan.
I don't think we did. I think we just went on a tangent. This is a funny one, right? And to be fair, this is going out to everybody. If you want to start giving us your fun facts for the podcast, please do. Yeah. Because Gio Ashley has given us a fun fact this week. We've still got Peds. Don't worry. Peds will always be at the end. But if anyone else has a fun fact that you want to give us, we can basically put that in place of a question. So this is Gio Ashley's fun fact. There was a gearhead in my gym. Might have been Reece. There was a gearhead in my gym who used to shout
that way.
Who used to shout "gay" after every single rep, followed by "oh" as he slammed the weight down.
I just imagine like "gay." Oh, he must love that. I must get him proper switch on.
Surely not. Surely you're joking.
Imagine you just go to a gym and you just hear a big gay head screaming "gay."
Gay. Maybe he was gay and he wasn't happy about it, and he was like, he was shouting at himself to get himself psyched up.
Yeah.
If that's true, Gio Ashley, even if I don't even know if Gio Ashley is a real person. It's a bot account, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, if that's true, Gio Ashley, then good fun fact. If it's a lie, I don't mind. If you want to send in your lies and pretend they're fun facts, if they're funny, I don't really care.
Yeah, makes sense. Right. Favorite pre-workouts on the market? Go. Instant. Go on for it, mate. CMP's peptide.
Mate, I haven't had a pre-workout in ages. I don't have pre.
Yeah. You have expansion every day.
Expansion. I have that every day. Well, every training day, which is the pump product from CMP, Fin15 for discount. But I don't use pre-workout. I haven't had caffeine in ages, apart from like an odd coffee, but even if I have a coffee now, more often than not, I'll get decaf, unless me and Shannon get one like on an early morning if we're going on a drive somewhere. But yeah, I haven't had caffeine in ages.
Yeah, no. I'd say for me, MV Pre, probably the best. All Pre's are fairly similar. I quite like Conviction from Conte Sports. It's all right. Superhuman, is it Supreme? The Alpha Line one. That's all right. They're all relatively decent. And Sub to House Reece for 10% off all your supplement needs or CMP stuff for pin 15.
So you can't say supplement needs, mate. You're sponsored by Subs House.
Oh,
all your
shit.
Supplement needs.
Oh, fuck, cancel me. They messaged me today saying, anything you need, buddy. And now they're going to hear that and go, you dropped. You said supplement needs. It's dropped. Shocking. Imagine what I mean. We've heard that you've been flirting with the supplement company for dropping. Oh, fuck.
Right, this is from DP Fit.
DP Fit?
He asked two, so we'll do them both together. Well, we'll do them back to back. So he asked, Finn, pros and cons of a significant other that's not a bodybuilder, and Reece, pros and cons of significant other that is a BB.
Is a BB.
They did say BB. I mean, can we say that Sanai's a BB?
I don't really know. I'm not really sure. Can we just say Sanai's just a lifestyle client who just competed once? She's a lifestyle individual who just competed once. No. So I think the first thing, if we were to go off like pros and cons, but the thing is, like, Shannon has been. I don't want to mug you off, but like she's been with people she'd been with bodybuilders, like people in the industry, in the sense, hasn't she? Like that's what she's been like. You know what I mean? So like,
I don't think it's to do with whether someone's a bodybuilder, like, or not. No. I think it depends on that person. Because there's some people, like, I have loads of clients who they're like, oh, my partner, my significant other is so supportive, and they're nothing. They couldn't care less about bodybuilding.
No, exactly.
Exactly. So I don't think it is to do with that. Obviously, like you say, with Shannon, it's a bit different because she has a knowledge on bodybuilding. She enjoys bodybuilding. She's interested in it. She trains herself, but she's not.
Loves Rolly Winkler, doesn't she?
She loves Rolly Winkler. Yeah, she does, mate. Fucking hell, she's obsessed with him.
His arms. Oh, Finn, why aren't your arms like this?
Honestly, Finn, why are you just a small natty? Like, can't you just jump on gear and be big? And that's what she says to me every night. I'm like, yeah, maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
She pegs me, and I'm like,
maybe one day. So there's going to be some acceptance. But to be fair, I think girlfriends are girlfriends. Like, you can be a bodybuilder girlfriend and probably still be a bellend, regardless.
That's what I mean. It's the person that they are. It doesn't matter that Sanaya's into bodybuilding. If she was a dick, it would be irrelevant. Like, she's a dick, but she understands about the macros.
Yeah. It's hard with what we do. And like, it's quite nice because Sanaya isn't as like not as serious as me, but she's more relaxed than me. So it's
she's a lifestyle client.
She can't
adhere to any given phase.
No, she can't. She had a 3-month gaining phase, and Tom was like, "Right, end of off season, let's go into a diet." And she was like, "No, don't want to." No, she's not as like I say serious. She'd tell you that. Like, it's not where she's not serious. She's just like she's more relaxed in a lot of situations. And we don't talk about training. We don't talk we don't get into bed and she goes, "Reece, that Cybex hack squat set today you did was amazing."
Too fast on the eccentric.
Too fast on the eccentrics. I feel like you could probably slow those eccentrics down. She couldn't at all. She literally, we don't really talk about training. That's the not the joy, but it's quite nice. Like, we've said it, like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship, but it's the only thing you talk about, because like you talk about it enough to your clients. We talk about it enough. Like, it's nice to be like I like hard chats when we talk about football more than bodybuilding. When we just chat about football, that's nicer to me, because it's like, thank God it's not about lifting weights, you know?
Yeah, I think as well, like, if you are, even if you're with someone who, like, for example, like you and Sanaya, obviously you train together at times, like, if all you had to speak about was bodybuilding, then I think there's something not right there. You know, it's all well and good training together and, you know, making your meals together, prepping together, like whatever, going on your steps, doing your cardio together, like all those things. But if when it comes to actually having conversation with each other, all you've got to talk about is your training or your cardio, it's like, there's probably something wrong there. Like, there's more to life than bodybuilding. And obviously the same, like, obviously when I get home to Shannon, like, she might ask me how my session was. Like, I'll ask her how her day was. She'll ask me how my day was. I won't be like, we won't come home and just talk about training. No,
mate, I thought you go home and go, Cybex shoulder press, 7.5 plates for 2.
Yeah, I'll show her all my lifts and go, fucking hell, look at that, look how good that is. Look at me as well. And I'll show her all my photos like you do and go, look at that, it looks good, doesn't it?
You do the exact same. Oh, mate, look at this. This is a good photo, this.
I don't get any good photos. I'm a fat mess. I can't flaunt any photos.
I can still pull an angle or two where I don't look horrendous. So yeah, not too bad.
Oh wait, let
right.
me ask the other one that you had.
Okay, go for it.
If you had to employ a coach right now and stop coaching yourself, who would you choose?
What? Stop
So
coaching.
I thought about this because I saw it. I thought
Yeah.
about it, and I want to know your thoughts first. So if you had to stop coaching yourself and choose someone else,
You.
yeah, I thought you.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I like that, mate. That's good. That should be a reel, just like you. Oh, I thought that. Yeah, it's that.
Yeah, no, because I was thinking like, if I was to choose someone, like you'd want someone who you think, right, they know a lot more than me. They're going to push me more. Like, and I was thinking, well, the only people that I'm thinking that I could think of would be like, okay, maybe going to Callum or going to Joe.
Yeah.
But then I think realistically, they've got loads of clients. They've got clients who are a lot better than me. Yeah. I'm not going to be someone that they're putting loads of time and effort into, which is fair enough because I'm not a top tier bodybuilder. I'm not Mark Hector. Yeah, so that's fine. Like, I wouldn't expect Callum to put the same amount of time and effort into me, to be honest. Yeah, because he's got people like Mark Hector. He's got people who are going to bring him more business and people who require more focus, if you like. And then I think with Joe Jeffrey, the main thing I'd want from that is PED knowledge. With Senor Jeffrey, the main thing I'd want is PED knowledge, which would be great for like coaching enhanced athletes in the future and now, but for myself wouldn't. For my own bodybuilding, wouldn't be much of a benefit because I'm natty, if you didn't know, even with this beard. So I was thinking like, realistic, yeah, there's other coaches, don't get me wrong, but I think in terms of how well we know each other, in terms of how we know what we would need and want from a coach, I think it would just make sense.
Yeah, I think so. Is that, like I said, it's how we handled prep last year. It was quite nice. It was like, sound cool. Like
if we weren't,
if
we couldn't coach each other though. I honestly don't know who I'd pick. I almost feel like I'd pick someone who isn't that well known, but I know is like a really sound guy, and I know would like put.
I reckon maybe this is me being cocky, but I think I'd be like almost like a free pass for a pro card for most coaches. So they'd probably be like, sound, put a lot of time into. So I think I'd probably be a bit different, but I don't know. I wouldn't know off the top of my head. Like, I'd probably want someone who I'd be like their top 3 to 5. So like if I was to go to Callum, it would be like, well, he's coaching people who are already pro and men's physique. Like it'd be cool to get another one on there. I'm sure he wouldn't say no, but I don't think it would be like, it'd be hard. It'd depend on also like who you can like see yourself with and who you can go with, in the sense of like someone that has the same sort of ideals, same sort of values, like you like their training. Because I respect all the Physique Collective guys massively, but like I would never train like them, so I wouldn't want to be coached by them. Simple. You know? So yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, like at the end of the day, you've got to think about more than just like, who do you think you would learn from, or who do you think would get a lot out of you. It's about, you know, like you say, what are their kind of values? You know, do you respect them? Do you like them? Because if you don't, obviously, if you didn't get on with them, or if you thought, then if you didn't sort of almost look up to them to an extent, I feel like you've almost got to look up to you in not in like a way where it's like, oh, you know, really like put them on a pedestal, not at all, but almost like at least respect them. Like if you don't respect your coach, then ultimately at the end of the day, like,
how do you expect to respect yourself, bro?
No, but it's going to be difficult for the coach to get the most out of you if you don't respect them. Because if you're just like, oh, fuck it, I won't check in this week, I don't care. Like, it's like, there's, as much as like we have really good relationships with a lot of our clients, there's still that respect there on both sides. So like, if someone didn't check in, I'd be like, mate, what's going on? Like, are you okay? Like, and if they just said, oh, I just didn't plan to check in, I'd be like, well, that's not good enough. Like, if you don't want to get if you don't want the results that you have said that you've wanted, don't check in. Be my guest. Do what you want. We've said this before. We'll say to people, do what you want. You can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, do this. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. But then don't complain that you're not getting where you want to get.
Exactly. Okay.
All right. Go on then.
Tips on getting back into the gym, not the basics, and how to talk to girls. I'm a loner. Fantastic.
Who's it from?
Jack Chapo. Do you remember him? He trained at Pure in Loughborough. Jack Chaplin. He was a dark-haired lad. I've only spoken to him a few times in the gym. He was a nice lad. He was so he wanted to get into coach. He wanted me to coach him about a year ago. He never signed up. After the gym's open, like literally about a year ago today. And he sent me everything over and never signed up. So maybe, mate, tips on getting back into the gym. If you signed up for coaching a year ago, be in a better position. And potentially, I would have taught you how to. Imagine in one of his check-ins, he's like, "Hey, mate, I don't really want to talk about anything. Is there any chance you can help me out talking to girls?" Have some confidence, mate. That will actually potentially help you if you actually get back into the gym and you're confident in how you look. Coaching slots available. Oh God, yeah. Tips on getting back into the gym. Get yourself in a routine. Get yourself set yourself potentially like a schedule of when you're going to train. So say, right, these are the days I'm going to train. These are the days I'm not going to train. So don't just wake up and see what you fancy. On the days you train, get all your meals prepared. Take your gym clothes to work, etc. To get yourself in a position where you literally can't not go to the gym. And if you can't, then obviously that's your own fault. And when it comes to basics, unfortunately, getting back into the gym is just the basics. It's getting yourself into a routine. It's starting off on something that you're not trying to kill yourself in your sessions, just building yourself up, because if you've been out for a decent amount of time, recovery capabilities are probably not going to be there, and you don't want to be feeling like you've been hit by a train, because that will probably inhibit your ability to actually get back in the gym for the following few days. So yeah, and then talk to girls, be confident. Finn, got any tips?
I was going to say, in terms of training, like, just don't overthink it. Don't go in expecting to like fucking
be the best you've been.
Yeah. You like, don't think you're going to be going in and smashing all your numbers that you've done in the past, or doing anything impressive, or doing what you see other people doing on social media. Like, you're not. But just get in the gym and do what you can. Like you say, plan something out, so you know, right there, this is what I'm going in. If you go in with no plan, then you're probably going to go in and be like, I'll just do what's free. Like, again, yeah, it's better than not doing anything, but realistically, you're going to make much progress if you just go in the gym and do whatever's free. Especially if you were to train in a pure gym at 6 p.m, you'd be walking in and walking straight back out, like people do as well. People do that. They're like, I'll go to the gym, and then, it's too busy. It's like, you've got to have a bit more sort of structure and more planning than that, and then understand, right, it's going to be busy. Yeah, I know it's going to be busy. Plan around that. Maybe train at a different time, or understand that you're going to be there for longer, or get yourself some dumbbells. Like, this is obviously for like someone who's just literally just trying to get into the gym. Get yourself a set of dumbbells, and you can do bits and bobs with that. But yeah, just don't overthink it, because I think the more that you think it, the more anxious you're going to be, and you never end up doing it. In terms of talking to girls, can't give you any advice, mate. I'm actually homosexual, so apologies. I know how to talk to guys. I could talk to guys all day long.
Do you say gay before every rep?
Yeah, you shout gay. That's what it is. It's like a mating call. So you know how birds have different mating calls and animals do. It's basically the gay mating call when you're training is to just shout gay in between every rep. So people know you're gay, and then you get all the gay guys come over, and there you go. You saw it. Straight into the toilets.
Yeah, straight into the changing rooms. It's the disabled changing rooms of pure gym. Fantastic.
Honestly, talking to girls, again, don't overthink it. Be yourself. Yeah. Like, again, this is going to sound very cheesy, but like, I would have never thought, when I was training at Pure Gym, I never thought I'd have a chance with Shannon at all. Like, literally, me messaging her, I was like, she won't message me back. Like, and then she did, and now who'd have thought it? Like, we've fucking lived together for nearly 4 years. Like, yeah, you've got to be confident and go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Like, if you message a girl and say hi on Instagram, or if you message him, like, don't try and be fucking cool and be like, message him about some pickup line that's cheesy, or message him from a picture that they've put on of their glutes and put like, oh yeah, nice, or fucking anything like that. Just literally, if you are interested in someone, either speak to them in person, or literally just message them like a normal person. And if they don't message you back, or if they are a bit weird in person, then think, oh, that's a shame. They obviously don't like me. Cool.
Yeah, makes sense. Right.
Move on to the next one. Then if you can't get girls, just change to guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we both did.
Yeah.
Worked out well for us.
Exactly. Let me just quickly do this one, because I realised that I didn't get back to the tenders, did I? Because it came through like right at the end last week. Yeah. So he asked, thoughts on shoulder rounding / extension versus fixed position for rowing movements. So, to tender, go and watch my reel that I posted last night. It was about rowing and scapular movement. So generally, if you're trying to actually engage the upper back and the mid back, so areas like the rhomboids, the traps, the rear delts, the teres major, basically anywhere other than the lats, to be honest. If you're trying to engage those, then you will want your scapula to move, because all those body parts, or majority of those, especially like the rhomboids and the traps, they're responsible for scapular retraction. So you'll want to be moving your scapula. You'll want to protract to lengthen them out, and you'll want to retract to shorten them, like you would extend and flex the elbow to lengthen and shorten your bicep. It's the same kind of thing. But if you're trying to just target your lats, then you'll want to keep your scapula pretty much fixed, and you'll want to keep the elbows tight to the body. It's that simple, but it's obviously hard to put into practice. You know, it's lats especially are a very difficult body part to train. But yeah, in basic terms, if you're trying to target the lats, keep your scapula fixed. If you're trying to target anywhere else, like the mid and upper back, then allow your scapula to move.
Yeah, all good. Right. What do you think people underestimate when it comes to being in a prep? Macca Morris, he is currently under 8 weeks out. Looks very good. Macca, you're looking very good, mate.
Does look good, yeah.
I think people underestimate.
I'd say people underestimate the amount of body weight that they need to lose. They probably think, 30 pounds and I'll be sorted. It's like, you won't, unless you were already very lean before you started prep. So yeah, body weight.
How many times have we heard people in gyms say stuff like that? Like, I've only got a few more kilos to lose, and you'll be like, yeah, you got a lot more.
That's probably the main one, to be honest. You could also say, like, people might underestimate how low you might have to push your food, how high you might have to push your expenditure. Like, but ultimately, I wouldn't even say that you should. People might underestimate that, but I wouldn't underestimate that. I would just do what you need to do. Do what is required. Like, don't overthink it. If you're not losing weight at a certain rate that you need to be, then make a change. Like, if it ends up being a bit extreme, so be it. Yeah, you're probably not giving yourself long enough, or you had more to lose than you thought. Like, but also cost as well. I think people don't realize how expensive it can be. Not just, you know, the fact that obviously, you know, you've got the entirety of prep in terms of, you know, maybe food changes. Often you're going to be maybe spending a little bit less because you're eating less, but then you've got things like maybe a coach, maybe a posing coach, you'll be getting things like, obviously you'll be booking your shows, you'll be getting your hand for the shows,
hotels, Airbnb,
exactly, travel, like all these kind of things, especially like for pros, like if you're traveling to, you know, all around Europe and things like that, or if you're traveling to America for, you know, the Olympia, like Reece will be next year. Yeah, you're
next year, what? Go win my pro card, then straight to the Olympia 2023 book market.
That's what your YouTube series should be called.
What, Road to the Olympia?
Olympia 2023.
Yeah, fantastic.
But yeah, I think cost is quite a big one, because you think, oh yeah, I want to prep, it's exciting, and it's like, have you got the disposable income to do so? Because if not, like, you don't want to be skimping out on it all. You don't want to be getting a shit tan. You don't want to be, I don't know, wearing Calvin Kleins instead of actually buying some trunks. You don't want to be like driving there and back on the same day to save money on a hotel, you know, 4-hour journey there. You know what I mean? There's all these things that you could do it, but it's not going to be the best way of doing it.
That's for definite. Yeah, I agree. I also got asked fairly similar, but like it's the same sort of thing when it comes to prep. When would you consider a first-timer client like ready? And again, it's going to be very person dependent. Like, you almost would look at that and you should almost have some understanding going in. So like what we mentioned there. And then anything that you reckon, like, there's not a checklist. It's not like you're like trained for 3 years, progressively overloaded for X amount of years, ate food, track macros, have a 3-year streak on MyFitnessPal. It's not like, right, you're now ready to prep.
You've got to just, I think what is important is that you understand the level required. Yeah. So I think a lot of first timers think, without being rude, they think they're better than they are because they might be one of the strongest and the biggest in their gym. But there's a lot of gyms in the UK. There's a lot of gyms in the world. If you're looking at, like, even obviously, you know, forget the enhanced leagues, but if you're looking at like the natural federations, like UKDFBA, the guy that won it this year was from Germany, and the guy that came second was from Switzerland. Like, you're not just competing against people in England. You're not just competing against people in your gym. You're competing against a lot of people. So, yeah, I think knowing the standard is important, and also sort of explaining that to the client. Like, I would never say to someone like, you're going to win. Even if I think they're very, very good. Like, I'll say, look, like, you know, you're very good. Let's make sure that we're doing everything possible to be in the best position to win. But you never know, because you can't control who's going to turn up. So, and then also there might be clients who don't want to, well, let's say they do want to win, but they might understand that they're not at that level yet, but they want to compete, which is fine as well. And if you want to compete, but you know, okay, I'm maybe not at the level. If you're happy knowing that, and you know, right, you know, I want to compete to get some experience, get some stage time, see what it's like, that's fine. As long as you understand, like, you've got to put a lot of time and effort in to probably not be in with a chance of winning. As long as the client understands that, that's fine. But you could also try and educate them, look, realistically, let's say you waited 2 years.
What's competing? What is competing? Like, how are you competing and if you're not even competing? Do you know what I mean? Like, you can compete but not compete. And unfortunately, people rush into it. And again, the stage is always there. Like, the stage is always there. But then additionally, people, if you waited to the point where you felt ready, most people would never compete.
Yeah.
Because you want to have some self-doubt. You want to go into it worried, in a sense, thinking, fucking, I hope I'm good. I hope I'm ready. I hope I'm going to be good. Because that's what you should drive off. You should be going into it thinking, I've put myself in the best spot possible. But you'll never be 100% like, there's not going to be a single person winning. You should always go in and think, well, if you are thinking that, you're probably not competing in a harder enough federation, or you're not unless you are ridiculous.
Yeah, that's it though. Like, so, you know, Connor Heathcote.
Yeah.
So we've obviously planned for him to do novice next year, but then he was saying to me, he's like, I might wait another year. And I was like, mate, sound. Like, there's no pressure on my end. Like, you do whatever you want to do. Like, I'll just educate you on, you know, how well I think you could do. And I said to him, I was like, could you be better if you waited a year? Yeah, of course you could, because he does everything right. But there's people who are like, I'll keep waiting, but they're not doing everything right. So you can keep waiting and continue to make very minimal improvements, or you could be like Connor, for example, and keep waiting and make another very, very good year, like make another sort of 2 years, 3 years of improvements at a really good rate, and you'll be loads better. But again, you know, it's one of them. You could always think that until you get to the point where you're 40 and you start to realize, actually, I'm getting worse now because I'm old. So it's like there's that fine line to realize, like, at some point, just go for it, and you'll only know if you're good enough realistically when it comes to competing.
Yeah.
And
that's why the step up. You're stepping up, bro.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep postponing.
What, and just keep making step up part 2?
I'm not going to compete. I'm not going to compete next year. I'm too small.
And
then a year after, I'll be like, I'm too small.
Mate, maybe if you take that testosterone, you know, that natural supplement.
Yeah, I could do, actually, yeah.
That would probably put you on a better level.
That'll sort me out, yeah.
That'll put you in a better position. Training to a better standard, you know, better execution, getting stronger. Nah.
Testosterone and metformin. Yeah, sound.
Yeah, go for it. Low doses of growth hormone.
Anything I can get away with. Right, let's wrap it up. We've got five minutes because I need to eat. We've got so Tom Taylor, biggest pet peeve people do in the gym. Hope you're good, Tom, by the way.
Yeah, likewise, Tom. Hopefully you're good, mate.
You sure? A bit bitter, aren't you?
So bitter. To be fair, it's probably actually about a year ago when Tom signed up. I think he started around April, May, if I'm not mistaken.
Mental, innit? Out, like, where are you at now? Yeah.
Yeah, really good to see. Right.
I don't know. We've had questions like this before where we've been like, we don't really worry about what other people are doing.
Don't pay attention. I can't.
I'd maybe say people. I'm sure we've had this question before, because I think I answered it the same. People using bands when they don't really know how to use bands, and they're using like stupid amounts of band tension when they don't require it. I'm sure we've answered that before with that answer. But again, it's not like I don't get really annoyed at it. I just think, sound.
Yeah, fair enough. As long as he's doing it, you know, that's fair. As long as it's not me, fuck it, fair enough, you know.
Yeah, I think we just don't care, do we?
Yeah, like
people can be doing what they want.
We're almost like, if we see something, we don't ever really say anything. We won't, and if it is, it's more so like we'll make a light-hearted joke, like that annoys me. I don't think I've ever really got annoyed at anybody in the gym. I've never been like, this guy's a right bellend. I've just been like, Oh yeah, Sam, that's fair enough. He's acting like a bit of a weapon, or oh, look at that fucking helmet over there.
I guess maybe a pet peeve would be like people who think they're above others in the gym because they're bigger or because they're stronger. But again, I'm not like, I don't think of that, but I think that's something that maybe you just think like that a bit of a dick. But yeah, other than that, like I say, we don't really. I think it's like some people's pet peeve would be, oh, people making noise in the gym. It's like, who gives a fuck? Like, let people do what they want. As long as they're not deliberately being a dick, then I couldn't care less. And even if they are deliberately being a dick, you just think they're a dick.
Yeah, they're a bell end. It is what it is. There's bell ends there's bell ends in pubs, there's bell ends in gyms, Bellings. There's
Bellingham. There's Bellingham in Dortmund. Bellingham in the middle of the park, bossing it. There's Bellingham.
Yeah, there's Joe Bellingham who plays for Birmingham still. You know his younger brother. There's Job and Jude. Yeah, he's got a brother called Job and Jude. Fantastic that. Yeah, there's bell ends anywhere. Like, it is how it is. So yeah, Tom, what's your pet peeve? Not pet. Yeah, what's your pet peeve in the gym? What annoys Tom Taylor?
Tom's not actually here, mate. By the way, you just asked.
No, Tom, you now have to message us and say, because I actually want to know what's something that annoys you. Right.
I don't care, Tom.
So
you don't need to message me.
Yeah. Imagine. Neither do I, Tom. Don't message us. God, that'd be harsh.
All right, last one, and then I've got quite a few to it. Oh, actually, should we finish on PEDs?
Let me see if I've got any others that are actually like, okay. Yeah, go for it. Do PEDs, mate.
And we'll answer the rest next time.
Yeah.
He's put DM. Nice one. A little bit longer, but this is a great one. Haha. I think it's what he tagged me in yesterday, and I didn't know what he was on about. People are loving PED, by the way, mate. I've had quite a few comments about how PED's their favourite part of the podcast. This is very long, so bear with me. Personal fun fact. Wednesday, 13th of April, 2022. This is yesterday.
It already started. Did he say that? Did he put the Wednesday? 22?
Yeah. Premise. A week ago, I started holding only 2 sets on the leg press. A top set at 9 plates per side, and then a back off at 8 plates per side, with 2 drops respectively at 7 and 6 plates per side. My friend Spotter took off my plates every time I reached failure. Okay, so I arrive at the gym, tired from having little sleep the previous night, fatigued in general, and also stressed by the fact that 3 days before I had a fantastic leg day, and therefore I should have done better today. I start to warm up, get to the top set with 9 plates per side, repeat 7 reps like last time, but with better control, so I was happy. So I start preparing the leg press for the back off with the drop set that I call the descent into hell, because it burns in your soul. When I was distracted for a moment by a friend of mine who had just entered the room. Okay, maybe he really wasn't my friend, and maybe he wasn't even a boy but a girl. Anyway, fact that I get distracted for a moment. And in the meantime, I call my spotter to start the set. Inside of me, I think, 8 plates per side last time, 16 reps. Come on, Pedram, you can do it. I breathe, I turn off the brain, and off we go. As soon as I lift the platform and remove the pins, I already knew I was fucked up. My quads were like, 16 reps? But what the fuck? Ped, today, if we get to 10, it's a miracle. His quads were talking to him. Listen to me, friend. At 16 reps, we won't get out alive. Neither you nor us. I thought, okay, I'm tired, but damn, if I feel heavy this load, anyway, I start and end with screams, tears, and blood. I get to do 15 reps to death, then drop. Death again, another drop, and final blow. I was gone, finished, knocked out. R.I.P. Ped.
Wait, blood.
Wait. There's loads more. I thanked my spotter and rest on the leg press. After 5 minutes, still a bit sad for not being able to complete the back off as I wanted, I start unloading the leg press, first on one side and then on the other. I start on the left and remove the 6 plates per side left over after the 2 drops. Then I go to the right. When I go to remove, I look and stop. I take 2 steps back and look incredulously. I don't know what that word is. If that's a word I don't know and he's not even in my language, fair play. at the leg press. 7 plates per side. 7, and then he's put ... 7 plates per side. To be fair, it says PPL. He's put PPL every time he means PPS, but I'm saying plates per side. So he has put 7 PPL. He's put that all the way through.
7 push-pull legs rotation.
7 push-pull legs. 7 push-pull legs. 7 plates per side. And in that moment, I realised what the hell I had done. In that moment, I understood why the fuck I felt so damn hard the back off. If I had only removed 1 plate on the left before my friend, before I got distracted. So basically, he'd started it wrong.
The funny thing is, I can picture him literally like unracking and then just taking 2 steps back and going, "Oh no!"
That's what he did. Did you see his story?
Oh no, I didn't see his story.
That's what he did.
Yeah, he messaged me. He messaged me, mate, saying this is what he said the other day. He goes, "When you read, laugh, and appreciate my fun facts, I'm always happy for taking a smile from you and all the listeners."
Yeah, I got the exact same message.
What a guy! What a guy, Pedders.
Wait, you've not finished.
Okay, carry on.
The funny thing is that neither of us had noticed anything. The least funny thing is that the next flight, I will have to start from 8.5 ppl. Happy Easter, Ped. Moral of the story, the environment where you train is very important. Word of my quads.
Fantastic. And on that note, that is another fantastic podcast. It's a good one, mate. Do you have anything to leave us upon? Or should we wrap it up and you can eat and I can eat and you can get your hair cut? Because you definitely need it, mate. You definitely need it.
I know.
You're gonna get it short on top, or you're gonna tell them to leave the top?
I'm gonna tell them to leave the sides and shave off all the top.
Fantastic. The Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, please.
Mr. Burns. Right. Finn's on his way to get his hair cut. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the story tags. Other than that, take care and we'll catch you guys in the next episode. See you later.